Hey everybody, it's Sam with Boulder Mountain Repair, and I'm here with our weekly gear repair tip that we're doing in partnership with Backpacker Magazine's Outdoor Gear Maintenance and Repair course. Check the link below for a link to that course. This week I'm going to talk about how to properly wash your outdoor technical gear, like waterproof, breathable, hard shell jackets, and things like that. It's not difficult to wash properly, but there are some things that you need to understand and consider to make sure that you get good results and that you don't damage your gear. For anyone who's not familiar with waterproof, breathable items, I'll start with a brief overview and then we'll move on to washing them. So what a waterproof, breathable jacket, or what waterproof, breathable fabric is, kind of as the name implies, it's fabric that doesn't pass liquid water through it, but it does pass water vapor through it. In outdoor gear applications, this is advantageous because you can make a jacket that, at least in theory, protects you from rain and the elements, but it also allows you the jacket also breathes. It allows you, when you start sweating and you get wet, it allows that water to leave your jacket before it turns to liquid water in the form of condensation. The way that waterproof, breathable fabrics are made is the company typically starts with a single layer fabric, kind of like the one I've got in my hand. You can see it's the same on both sides. It's uncoated. It's just a bunch of woven yarns made into a fabric, something like you'd see on a sleeping bag. From there, they laminate a membrane to that fabric. The membrane is the part of the fabric, the membrane is what does the hard work of keeping the fabric waterproof and breathable. Not always, but usually the membrane is white and it's got kind of a rubbery, tacky feeling to it. Sometimes the company stops there and that's what we call a two-layer laminate. Other times the company will add a third layer, which is not always but oftentimes gray, and it's a scrim on the inside that functions just to protect the membrane from dirt and abrasion from the inside of the jacket. The way that this fabric works is there's the membrane itself. Kind of the simplified version of it is it's got holes that are just the right size that liquid water can't pass through, but water vapor can pass through. And so again, it's the membrane that really does the hard work of keeping the fabric waterproof and breathable. There's an additional and important component, which is what we call a durable water repellent coating, which is present on the outside or the face fabric. That is a spray-on coating that you can't really see, but it's there, and it causes liquid water, like rain or snowmelt. When it comes in contact with the outside of the jacket, it causes liquid water to bead up so that you can brush it off or you can shake it off your jacket, rather than absorbing that liquid water. What can happen if your DWR fails and your jacket absorbs all the liquid water that it comes into contact with? Even though it's technically waterproof because the membrane is still intact and functioning as intended, it will wet out. And basically the jacket will absorb water like a sponge. It'll feel wet to the touch, it'll be heavy, it'll be kind of cold when you put it on, and it will really impede the breathability of the membrane and the jacket. So it's important that you keep your membrane clean and that you keep your durable water repellent coating intact. Those are kind of the two main reasons why you would want to wash your outdoor gear. Because in addition to the DWR failing, your membrane can also get dirty, kind of gunked up by body oils, things like that. And once that happens, your jacket can actually temporarily be rendered non-waterproof, and it'll just leak on you until you give it a good cleaning. For a jacket in good condition, that's well within its kind of reasonable lifespan, proper washing and drying will help to increase the performance. But for a jacket that is kind of coming to the end of its life due to normal wear and tear, sometimes washing it can cause it to delaminate, which is where the three layers that I just talked about can actually separate from each other, and that can cause the jacket to be rendered permanently not waterproof or breathable. So that's just one thing to look out for. Here I've got some pants that show, this is kind of a good example of what delamination looks like. We just repaired the seam tape, which is one of the services that we offer here at BMR. But if you can see, the scrim is actually separating from the membrane, and in other parts of the item, the seam tape has completely failed. So that's kind of the one thing that you need to look out for and consider before washing your item, is that if your item is old, washing it could potentially kind of be the nail in the coffin for that item. So moving on to how to wash the garment. At BMR, we kind of break it down into 3 steps: the pre-treat procedure, the wash, and the drying. The pre-treat procedure consists of a couple things. First, we go through and we loosen all of the draw cords. Find the cord locks and just make sure that, like, the waist draw cord, maybe around the hood, they're not cinched up and they're completely let out and loose. Second is we want to make sure that we wrap up the main slider. It's like on this jacket that has already been done, so I'm gonna take it apart. What can happen is this slider, the one on the main zipper in particular, it's kind of hanging out there in the open. In the washer, it can actually get damaged, so we want to wrap it up. We take a piece of scrap fabric, like I've got here. We double it up, triple it up, and then just cover the sliders with it. Take a rubber band, and we're going to rubber band that scrap fabric over the zipper sliders. Another part of the pre-treat procedure is we want to cover up any hook Velcro. The hook Velcro is kind of the rough, stiff portion of the Velcro, and if you leave it uncovered in the wash, it can actually grab onto your jacket, work its way into the weave, and damage your face fabric. So we take a scrap of loop Velcro, the softer side, and we just locate any pieces of hook Velcro on the jacket. They're oftentimes on the inside placket, the wind flap, and we just cover them up for the wash with the loop Velcro. Another part of the pre-treat procedure is we open up all the pockets. You want, oftentimes you're keeping snacks in there, sticking your hands in there. The pockets can be the dirtiest part of your jacket, so we want to make sure that the water and the soap get in there. So we go through, we open up all the pockets in anticipation of the wash. And the last part of the pre-treat procedure is a pre-treat spray. We use OxyClean. There's a number of pre-treat sprays on the market. We recommend that you dilute the pre-treat spray pretty significantly. You don't want it concentrated because you don't want it really getting in the membrane. So we just water it down, spray it on any dirty areas. Oftentimes the dirty areas are kind of like around the cuffs. Spray it on, give it a light scrub just to get some of that surface dirt off before we put it in the wash. When it's time to put it in the wash, there are a couple things to consider. First is you don't want to use a top-loading washer that has that center column they call the agitator that can tear up outdoor gear and significantly damage your jacket. So you want to use a front-loading washer. Second is you want to make sure that you use the right soap. We use Nikwax Tech Wash soap, but there's a handful of brands out there that make non-detergent soap that's specifically formulated for technical gear, waterproof, breathable gear. So just find one of those, and again, make sure you use the right soap. You're also probably going to need a durable water repellent coating. We use Nikwax TX Direct, but again, there's a number of brands that make a similar product. You don't always need to reapply the durable water repellent coating every time you wash your jacket. Just if you notice that the water, rain, liquid water isn't beating up on your jacket and is getting absorbed into your face fabric, it's probably time to reapply a durable water repellent coating. And then probably another thing to consider is you always want to wash your technical outdoor gear on cold. Don't wash it on hot. That can potentially kind of expedite delamination of the item. When it comes to durable water repellent coatings, there's two types. There's spray on and there's wash in. The wash in durable water repellent coating, basically you measure out, you follow the manufacturer's instructions, measure out whatever it says, and you dump it in to the wash during the rinse cycle. Or if you're not comfortable with doing that, you can always just, after you wash your garment, you can wash it again without any soap, and then just use wash-in DWR. The downside to wash-in DWR is that the durable water repellent coating gets everywhere. It gets on the outside, it gets on the inside, potentially on your insulation if you have an insulated jacket, versus spray-on a DWR, which is a little more labor-intensive and time-intensive, but with spray-on DWR, the durable water repellent coating only gets where you want it to go, which is on the outside, the face fabric of your jacket. If you want to go the route of spraying on your DWR, you just kind of get a small spray bottle like this, get DWR that specifies spray on, and after you wash your garment, it's important that it's after because your garment needs to be wet. After you wash your garment, let it drip dry for a few minutes, and then spray on the DWR before you put it in the dryer. So once you've washed the item and you've applied your DWR, it's time to dry it. We recommend drying it on low or medium heat briefly to get the DWR to set. If you spray on or wash in your DWR and you don't dry the item and apply heat, then your DWR will just rinse off next time your jacket gets wet. So for your DWR to function as intended, it needs to be subjected to heat for 10 or 15 minutes in order to get it to set. So basically, once you've washed it, we recommend that you dry it briefly on medium heat, keeping an eye on it. Especially keep an eye on it if it's got synthetic insulation in it. Synthetic insulation does not do well in the dryer on medium heat. It can sometimes start to shrink up on you, so really keep an eye on it. But yeah, just hit your jacket with a little bit of heat in the dryer, and then we recommend taking it out and letting it hang dry for the rest of however long you need until it's dry to the touch. So yeah, once you've kind of thought it through, figured out what you need to do, gone through the pre-treat procedure, washed it and dried it, then your garment should be clean. Hopefully you've gotten any dirt or oils out of the membrane, so it's waterproof. Hopefully you've reapplied the durable water repellent coating so it's not going to wet out, and then you're good to go. You should have a high-performing garment at that point. For more information on other repairs, check out Backpacker Magazine's Outdoor Gear Maintenance and Repair course. And again, there's a link to it in the description below. Thank you.